Welcome back, everyone. In this lecture, we are going to delve into a pivotal aspect of a modern software development, that is GitHub Actions. So, as we have seen, we have been building our to-do API solution. We have reached a point where we want to automate various development processes, from continuous integration to continuous deployment. So, GitHub Actions is the tool that can make this automation a reality. So that is the importance of GitHub Actions. It allows us to automate workflows directly within our GitHub repositories. And to understand GitHub Actions, so what exactly are they? What exactly are GitHub Actions? GitHub Actions are a set of scripts that you can use to automate various tasks and workflows right from within your GitHub repository. Think of it as your digital assistant that can perform tasks like building your application, running tests, and deploying your code, all triggered by events like code pushes and pull requests. So let's get started with the GitHub Actions. Now, to access GitHub Actions, we'll go to the Actions tab with our GitHub repository. So just a quick look at the Actions, how it looks. So here is my repository on GitHub on test-driven development demo. So if you click on this Actions tab, so it will have all the workflows. So you can create a new workflow, which we'll do in subsequently. But for now, we'll jump over to the next part of the slide. Now you define your workflows in YAML files stored in the .github/workflows directory. So you can automate the process, as I will show soon, with the website checker project. You can create this .github/workflows directory all by its own. It has been automated for CI integration, or you can create it manually in your repository, either on the GitHub repository itself on remote or on the local, and then commit and push it on the actual GitHub remote repository. So these YAML files follow a structured syntax that specifies the events, jobs, and steps that GitHub should execute. So one of the primary use cases for GitHub Actions is continuous integration or CI. We can configure actions to run our tests automatically whenever we push new code. So beyond CI, GitHub Actions can handle continuous deployment or CD as well. We can set up actions to deploy our application to platforms like Azure Web Apps, as we'll explore in later lectures. Now for an hands-on practice, let's roll up our sleeves and create a simple CI workflow together. We'll test a website checker project, which is already in my GitHub repository, with the Actions workflow. Now this website checker project is to check a few websites like Google, for validating the Google website URL, and also to validate that a non-existent website URL is to be also validated in the same manner as a valid Google URL. Okay, so we'll see that website checker project. So here is my website checker project. This is the code, and this is the private repository at the moment, but I will grant you access after making it public when the course is released. Alright, so let's click the action. Now, quickly, before we go for showing the actual continuous integration or GitHub Actions workflow, let's quickly study the code. So this is a website checker project, and this has got a tests folder and a website checker class. So what this website checker class does, it dependency injects an HTTP client, and it asynchronously checks with a boolean type return, is website up. So to this is website up method, you give a string URL of any website. So what it returns is, if the URL is valid, then it returns a success status code. Okay, so it returns a success status code, 200 OK code, otherwise it returns false. That's as simple as that. And what this test does, there are two tests, website checker tests. So first test actually checks for Google availability, and second test checks for non-existent website. So Google website is to the is website up method, you are putting the valid Google URL and asserting for true is Google up. Okay, so this should return a true because this is a valid Google website, but this is a non-existent website, https www.nonexistentwebsite1234.com, and it is asserted for false. And I've got the code also here, and if you see, these two tests have passed. Okay, so this is a website checker project. So if you click on the test again, run all tests in view, it will rebuild the project and the tests are both passed. So let's go back to the remote repository, which is this one, and let's go for the actions. So let's get started with GitHub Actions. Now GitHub has nicely integrated the continuous integration part with GitHub Actions for you. It has been made very easy. You can just click on configure, and all it does is to add this .github folder /workflows/.net.yml. Now in the next lecture I will be discussing the whole this YML steps, how the YML is working with the jobs and different steps. But for now, all I am going to do is to commit the changes. So I can give it a extended description with the commit message is already there. So it is create actions. Create actions workflow, simple. Okay. I don't want to create a new branch. I am committing directly to the master branch. Okay. Commit changes. Now let us click actions. So create .net.yml. Now if you run this is already running in the background, but if you want to see that steps, so it's brilliant to see everything in front of your eyes. So it is setting up the job. It will take a while to go through all the steps written in the YML file. So we will come back after it has successfully done all the steps. So see, within a few seconds it has done everything. It has set up jobs. Okay, with all the details over here, completed job built, run the actions. So whatever these mean, I will be explaining in the next lecture in details. Setup.net, restore dependencies, build, and test also. And here is the fun. You can see that it has test run successful, total test 2, pass 2. Both the tests that we have seen in local, they have also been validated on the GitHub Actions workflow on the GitHub itself. Post setup.net, post on actions, and complete job. So everything has been done to our expectation and perfectly. So that's the end of this lecture.